Welcome back to the Elevator Life. It's good to see you. I want to wish all of you a happy holiday season to you and yours. We are still stuck over here in Guangzhou, but we do have some special episodes coming at you real soon. Nick is right now currently over stateside, so that gives us a little opportunity to do get some really interesting and cool guests on here for you guys. I don't know, a lot of you guys that have been following us for a long time will actually recognize who this is. This is our good buddy over here, Ryan Beltran, and go ahead and say hello.
How's it going, people? It's good to be back on the main stage.
Yeah, good to have you. If you guys remember his episode from months and months and months ago, when were you on here last?
It's been a while. I think it was May, somewhere in there.
Somewhere in that time.
Before the summer.
So, in our last episode, he talked about making the move to China, and you were, I think, had just seen what he's really involved into, the product that he's doing now. He had just seen it, and he was talking about maybe doing something.
Yeah, I was back and forth at the time, and I wasn't necessarily considering running with my own product, but more so just sourcing other people's.
Yep.
And I remember I talked a lot about that process and kind of just starting my entrepreneurial path at the time.
You're just a baby.
Yeah, and I feel like, I still am in some ways, but so much has changed since that time. And that's the way it works out here is, 4 or 5 months, well, about 6 now, so much has changed. And I feel like I know so much more just since then.
Definitely. So guys, this episode we're going to focus on the product development process, which Ryan is going through right now. It'll give you he's going to go in depth on what it's like to be developing a product, and he isn't finished yet. So it's really, I think, a really cool really cool look inside what people are feeling and what they actually go through when they're building a business. We're not to the stage of where he's launched and he's dealing with those troubles. He's actually building it right now. And so it's going to be a refreshing look into a lot of people that haven't made the first step to entrepreneurship. He's going to be able to give you some insight into what it's like, what it feels like,
exactly.
What you need to deal with, what are the decisions you need to make. So we're excited. This is probably going to be, we're going to do a few-part series with him, kind of a case study, look into his business and how he's launching it. So we really want to thank Ryan for being so open with his products. Thanks, my man.
For sure, man. I'm excited. I hope that what I got to say today and in the next couple episodes will be beneficial for everyone that's listening.
All right, for sure. So first of all, tell everyone a little bit about what product you are doing. What are you doing?
I found a product at the Canton Fair back in April, and I think I talked a little bit. I don't think I said specifically what it was.
But you talked about watches.
But I talked about watches, and that was always something that piqued my interest. I knew that it was a very saturated market, but it was also something you could get into if you found something niche. Well, that's what I found, and it's a wooden and stainless steel watch design, 100% all natural wood. I upgraded the materials, which we can talk about later, to a stainless steel, and changed some things in the design, which is product development. I'm super excited about it, and I think that it's going to be a product that does well because of the fact that it's very unique and there's not a lot else out there that's similar. Okay,
cool. So first off, let's start with a question. I remember when you first got over here, like a lot of people that come to China, the first thing that he was considering doing was sourcing products for other people. Yeah. So I want to ask, what led you down to, okay, I want to build a product, I want to build a brand?
Sure.
Why was that appealing?
Sure. Well, when you source, you basically develop a skill set that I think takes you into product development. So when you're sourcing, you're dealing with clients, you're dealing with quality control, you're negotiating pricing, MOQs. So you almost in some ways become a professional at dealing with factors and sourcing.
True.
And so once you become good at that, then you can say, okay, now I know how to handle that. I know the logistics, I can deal with all those different factors and details. It's very, detail oriented. Well, now you can apply that to your own product. And so as soon as I was good at that, I knew, okay, I have this product, and I kind of had it in my back pocket. I actually didn't start on the watches until about September. So my timeline really on the watches is pretty short. Yep. But I knew I had developed that skill set, and so as soon as I knew that, I ran with the watch designs and product development on my own.
Okay. Let me ask you this question though. So you're in the middle of doing it. You've already taken the first step. Yep. Okay, you've started building the product. You put money into the business. You're looking at, okay, actually launching the product really soon. A lot of people that we hear from, a lot of people in general, everyone's got a good idea.
Yes.
Everyone's got, oh man, if this product were changed a little bit and made and sold this way, it would make $1 million.
Exactly.
A lot of people talk about that. Why did you actually start something? What was the difference between you going, oh, or maybe the difference between the people sending us emails and going, oh, this would look cool, would this work? From you actually going, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to design this product, I'm going to put money into it, I'm going to take this the whole way.
Well, I think the most important part is doing your research, actually. I think that a lot of people have a good product on the surface level, whether it's just basic modifications or design changes. But that's what I did, and that's what actually catapulted me into actually taking it and trying to launch it, which I'm doing here in about a couple weeks.
Yep.
Which I'm super excited about. But you've got to do the research, and you've got to find a market or a niche that you can capitalize on, basically. And that's, I guess, what took me into the next stage of actually going forward with it. I had found some other products, basic things, that you could change, like you were saying, maybe you take a cup and you alter it and you think you can maybe push a bunch like that. Well, if you find something like that, you've got to make sure that the competition's low and that there's going to be a niche market out there. I feel like at the end of the day, that's what the business is about on the product development side of things, whether it's a trend or a completely new design altogether.
Okay, so you were brand new into product development. Yeah, you've done sourcing, but you were brand new. Where did you start? How did you know where to start? And how do you know the steps to take until launch? How do you find that kind of stuff out?
Okay, but yeah, I reached out. That's what I did. I mean, of course, Nick and Tim, being around these guys, and as well as as well as the other resources and people I've met through them, and just networking in general here in Guangzhou. That's basically where I started. Is I hit up a couple of my really good buddies out here, all mutual friends of ours, and they're really good in the sourcing side of things. But they also have gotten into product development themselves. Sold through some huge sites, Groupon, and some other group buy sites. And I basically asked them, I was like, what do you think of this product? And they were like, I think it's great. I think it's fantastic. And then we got a little bit, heavier into the conversation, and they asked, well, how can you change it to make it better?
Yep.
And that was the question that really got me going, because I knew I could take the basic concept and slang it into the market, to put it just, simply put. But I knew that if I took it and I took it a step further and I did some further design changes, I integrated better materials, and I really branded it well, that it would be a product that I could really sell. And so basically I just reached out to people and picked their brains.
Okay, good. And guys, he's not only talking business. Okay, he was talking business contacts, and for business advice. But something I've also seen them doing was he found a product that he really liked and he personally would want to buy. He made it better in something that he would, actually spend money on. And then what he did, he and his partners started asking actual customers, is this something you would like? Is this something you would like? And I've seen people's reactions. We're going to throw some pictures up here in the video, so check them out. Everyone's reactions were really good. So he was going to his actual customer demographic and getting positive feedback and helping them, or actually using them to help him make decisions, right?
Exactly.
And that's crucial just for, your confidence level in going out, right?
100%. I think Tim made a fantastic point just there, and that's finding a product that you truly do believe in. I know that a lot of these, entrepreneurial blogs and in that world, they push that, and I think it's 100% true. That you do need to find a product or a niche that you're confident in, that you know. Can you do it with a product that you're not 100% in love with? Absolutely. Yeah. I just think that when you start, you're going to be more motivated and driven to make those small detail changes. I focused really, really hard on the details. I worked with the factory multiple weeks, like day in and day out. Like I was 2 weeks in a row in the factory for 2 or 3 days straight. And just working with their team and being there on the ground. It helps to be here, of course, but just actually working with them through the entire process. And that's actually something I want to touch on real quick, is actually when you're dealing with the factories, you do need to lay things out.
100%.
A Word document or a PDF with the basic design isn't going to do it, which I made that mistake. That's why I know. So you got to learn from those things, and I did, and I think that if you can work with them, even if you aren't on the ground, you can get there. But I think that ultimately being here was a huge advantage for me. Huge advantage. So,
we always talk about that. So, I want to stick a little bit away from sourcing right now and stick on the product development process. So we talked about you partnered up with some people. Yeah. How has that gone? Do you think it's crucial? What are your opinions and recommendations on partners? Okay. There's a couple different things I want to touch on in terms of partnering with people. Okay. I think that it's crucial that you do partner with people. I'm an advocate for partnering with someone.
Number one, because I think in terms of business and that side of things, it's good because you have someone on the ground, not only here, but also someone on the ground in your home country. For me, that's the United States. I have a partner based there who can handle logistics, actually getting the product once it's into the States and importing it into there. Of course, I handle everything China side, but once it's there, he can handle all those logistics, fulfilling orders, dealing with customers. He's in that time zone, all those different things that are very important. They can build customer and brand value. You need to partner with someone.
Yes.
The second reason I think it's very important is because I think that, and this is more of a, not a social thing, but something that I think it's good to partner with someone because it's good to share victories with someone. And I think that you can be very successful on your own. Yes, you're going to make a little bit more money, but I think all of us at the end of the day, when we start a business, we're doing it for the right reasons, I like to think. And I knew that when I started, I wanted to partner with someone that, with number one, I trusted, but number two, I wanted to celebrate when we made a sale, when we got our site up, when we had the final product. All those things I think are awesome to celebrate with another person or two, whatever.
You seem excited.
I am.
Okay, so right now, where in the process are you? Okay, can you kind of run through a quick timeline of the steps that it took, where you guys are in that whole kind of scenario? Okay,
well, skipping forward from basically seeing the product, we went through that, not starting really until September with actually the development side of things.
Okay.
In September, I went to the factory, worked with them, like I said, a lot, came up with the designs, and they made an order for a sample. And getting a sample, in my opinion, if you're doing product development, is 100% necessary. You have to do it. You have to get that sample. As soon as you get that, approve the sample, tweak it, whatever you need to do. I tweak the sample, even things like changing the watch hand colors, color coordination, things like that.
How long did that take?
It's actually pretty quick because once you have the sample, they have the materials, they've already worked with you, you've built that relationship. As you guys all know who watch the blog, that's key in China. Once you have that relationship, they're willing to work with you. So I think that once I hit that step, I was able to place the order, and that's where I'm at now. As I place the order, and I placed the order, and so I talked about back in April finding the product, and then I talked about in May, like thinking about it and not sure if I was going to do it, and still sourcing and having those clients. So let's skip forward to September. After I went home, I spent some time with family. I had actually found the partner that I ended up partnering with. That's a whole nother story. And then I came back in September and started it. When I came back in September is when I started working with the factories those couple weeks, day in and day out.
Developing the product.
Actually developing the product. And whether that was design, working with that team, all that kind of thing, all that good stuff. As soon as I did that and I was comfortable with it, I made a sample, which is 100% absolutely necessary. I think that when you're doing product development, especially with something, if it's your first go at it especially, you need to get a sample.
True.
Once you get that sample, then you can tweak it, which I did. And it wasn't that difficult, actually. I mean, once I had the sample and I had already built that relationship with the Chinese factory, it was pretty simple. I just went in there, again, spent a couple days with them, working with their design team, working with the people, and I came up with just things as changing the watch hand colors, or maybe a little more spacing on the watch face itself to make it a little more open, stuff with the dial, some basic things like that. I actually had to purchase a mold, so I couldn't change too much of the casing. However, I was 100% down with that to start with.
Molds are a whole nother beast in China.
Yeah, that's another topic of itself. And then once you get the sample and you're ready to go, then you place an order. And then you can get into like negotiating the minimum orders, which we don't need to talk about, but I was able to negotiate something that was satisfactory. And now I'm waiting for them to get here. And so in the meantime, I've been developing my site, contacting different blogs and group by sites and trying to push product that way, get it ready for them, pushing social media as well. And that's basically where I'm at now.
Okay, so right now you've had the product developed.
Yes.
Okay, you've finalized it, you've made your changes that you need to make. The product's finished.
Yep.
Okay, so right now you're in the part of getting ready for launch.
Yes.
Product launch. What's that feel like?
There's a lot of feelings.
Nervous, excitement. Like a lot of people, you know, when this time comes, it's okay. Well, this is it.
It's go time.
It's go time.
Because it's all kind of fun and games in a way. I mean, yes, you're fronting money, so you're definitely vested at this point. However, you know, until the product's out there, it's like kind of like, oh, you know, this is super cool. Well, now it's on me, and that's a lot of where the anxiety or nervousness comes from. Is I have to sell product. And if I don't sell product, then it was not a waste of time because you're always learning, but you know, it's what you have to do in order to be successful, especially when you're doing product development. So that's where the nervousness or the anxiety comes from, but the excitement is just in the potential. And I think if you're confident in your product, which I am, I'm very confident, then there's nothing to be scared of, and you should just be 100% excited. And I'd say I'm more excited than anything.
Good. Well, I don't want to get right today into the actual launching specifics into product launch and all that kind of stuff, because we'll be going through that when he's actually doing it. I know you've laid a lot of groundwork for getting the product out there, so the next episode will be really interesting when we talk about how do you get ready to launch a brand, how do you reach out to people, how do you make sure that it's going to be in front of as many people as possible when your product is actually ready. Exactly,
and I that'll be a very fun topic for us to discuss, as well as me to kind of share with you guys, because I'm in the middle of that. Like we just talked about in terms of the product development, that's kind of past.
That's what you just finished.
And now I'm right smack dab in the middle of everything Tim just talked about. So maybe here next shoot I'll be a little more informed, but it's going to be an exciting topic for sure.
Okay, so one final thing. How are you branding your product? You talked a little bit, very beginning of the episode, about, okay, so we came up with a branding idea, we kind of went with it, it's something that I would personally buy. How did you kind of settle on that branding topic? What is it? Who are you pursuing as target customers?
Okay, the branding aspect is obviously very important. I mean, you can't develop a brand unless you have a niche or a target that you're aiming for. I'm definitely going for, you know, our age or our demographic.
Okay.
I'm at my price point, which I won't say specifically, is definitely gauged at someone who can afford to purchase something that's gonna. They have to have the disposable income to purchase it. Let's put it that way. It's definitely more of a lifestyle product, something very trendy, fashion forward, that you wouldn't necessarily wear every day. When I look at the watch market, one of the hardest reasons the reason it's so hard to get in is because everyone does the same thing. If you're not Tag Heuer, Omega, Rolex, you know, even a company like Nixon, you're not really going to get in, at least in my opinion. So you got to come up with something like this that's very unique and then brand it that way. And so basically that's how I did it, and that's how I'm branding it.
Good. And yeah, definitely tune into the next episode, because he's got a lot of branding techniques that he's using with other partners and such that, you know, will give you a lot of exposure. So we want to thank you for coming on, guys.
Absolutely.
This was a little look into someone that's actually going through product development. They've taken that step. They've put in some capital. They've started a company. They've made some products. And they're about to launch into the market. Okay? This is a guy that's actually living it. He's doing it. He's building his own business. And we're excited to see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm extremely excited, and I hope what I had to say helps you out in some way or another.
Awesome, guys. We'll see if we can get some more details out of him from the next shoot about the price points and exactly when it's going live and all that kind of stuff. But
absolutely.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, guys. See you later.
See ya.